It's a story about how the sea got its waves. Many years ago in the dream time, there was an island, and on this island there lived a tribe of people. And two men on this island, they call them clever men, they decided what they would do is build a canoe, put it out on the ocean, and just see where it took them, because they were a little bit bored with life on the island and they wanted to do some exploring. So they built a canoe, put it out on the water, and they started to row away. And at the time the sea was very, very calm. It was very, very smooth. So after rowing for a few days, they came across an island, and they thought, well, we'll row our canoe to the sandy beach and we'll get out and we'll go and have a look at this island. So they did that. As they got out of their canoe, they began to walk up the beach, and as they did, one of them looked behind and saw that the sea was creeping up behind them. He said to his friend, he said, "You have a look around," he said, "in the sea, and you will see the sea is following us." So his friend had a look around and he said, "Well, I can't see how the sea would follow us because the sea doesn't have any legs." And his friend said, "Well, you watch this." So he walked further up the beach, and as he did, the sea started to come up behind them. As they walked further, the sea was coming up behind them. He turned around and he started to walk back, and as he did, the sea started to go back. So they did this for a few times, and his friend said, "You're right." He said, "The sea is following us." So they did it a few more times, and at the time the sea, as I said, was very calm, very, very smooth. And because it kept going back, waves were starting to form. There'd never been any waves before. So at first the sea enjoyed what was happening because they thought they were having fun. But after a while, the sea began to get very angry, and because it was making these waves that it had never made before. So sea thought, well, I don't want to play this game anymore. So it decided, when it came up the next time, after they ran up the beach, it would go back. And as they turned around to run back, the sea went back, but it made a wave. It was a humongous wave. And the two men, they looked up and they could see what was happening. The sea was about to come down on them. And as it started to come down, because I said earlier in the story that these two men were clever men, these two men turned themselves into the two big rocks, and those big rocks are still here today. They are known as the Sydney Heads, and that's how the sea got its waves.
Thank you, Aunty Stella. That was a beautiful story.